What's up, Patriot
Hey,
family?
Patriot family. What day is it? I'm like, is it Friday yet? No, it's not. It's Thursday. It's Friday's cousin, Thursday, that we almost like as much as Friday.
Yes.
Welcome, Allie. You look great.
Thank you.
Are you caffeinated?
I am. I'm trying to be.
You had a what? You had a late night. I heard you say you smoked a cigar. What were you celebrating?
Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted.
You're restricted already on the live?
Yes.
What was it? Was it Trantifa? It was Trantifa.
No, it probably was. You know what it is?
What?
It's every time we offend the trolls, somebody reports my live. Like they can't handle two beautiful women speaking about truth or about news or support for conservatism or support for women. Like, knock it off. This is crazy.
It's crazy. Tell me you're in your feels and not regulated without telling me you're a Democrat. So, Allie, that's okay. I'm so sorry that happened. I was so excited. It's my first time I'm able to join your live, and I'm like so new to TikTok, but it is a Chinese asset, so whatever. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about, while you were sleeping, Trump was over wheeling and dealing in China. And those of us that I guess can't sleep at night anymore, we're up watching it. So we'll give you all the rundown. Plus, we're going to talk about the nuclear testing that he's resuming. I found it really amazing. Leave it to a leader, like moments before you're about to meet, and shake hands with Xi, that you announce publicly that we're resuming nuclear testing, like just in case. My hand's right here on the button. Do you want to test me? You want to test me? Plus, we're also going to talk about Turning Point USA at Ole Miss, the Schumer shutdown, all things. Allie, it's going to be a packed day.
It is going to be a fantastic news day. Thank you guys for joining us from all areas that you're able to watch us. Let's open that mic.
Open the mic.
Stays on. Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on. Stays on. Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do? They try to cancel you. MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of Magaville, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat. Keep it on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose.
She says there, Allie, she says, what do you do when they come for you? Listen, it's real. For those of you that aren't if you're on TikTok, please follow Allie Marie and make sure you get into our live because we're behind the scenes live. But I paid Allie a compliment this morning and somebody got in their feels about it. What'd I say? I said, you look beautiful. And when she pulls her hair back like that, it's like, you just see all her natural beauty. I don't know, whatever.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Aren't we supposed to adjust each other's crown?
Absolutely. And
isn't that what we do?
They get offended by it.
There's
a difference between conceited and confident.
Absolutely.
And I'm good with either.
Absolutely. Jeez, it was like, tell me you're offended without telling me you're a Democrat.
No,
okay, so let's talk a little bit about some, this was a tearjerker. And I'm going to preface this first portion by saying this. Whatever you feel about the investigation into the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, whatever you feel about however that information is being disseminated, because there are people all across the spectrum and you have a right to your opinion. But can we please remember that there is a widow and two young children that are trying to walk through this, as well as an organization that we relied heavily on as grassroots? Because let's face it, our party doesn't always pick up they don't always
align.
Do the work. Yeah.
And they don't do the work.
So for her to step up so quickly, Erika Kirk, and for her to boss it up so quickly, and for her to make public appearances so quickly, don't ever judge how somebody gets through grief, because you have no right. And I know that firsthand. So I want to play this first clip. She showed up to Ole Miss last night to a packed, I think, 10,000 people in the stadium there. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory. And let me explain that, because there is a lot of symbolism in today. It's Wednesday, 7 weeks. And the more that I'm coming to grips with the permanency of this nightmare, the more that I'm starting to realize and witness that the enemy, he doesn't want you. He wants your territory. He wants your influence. And when our team asked my dear friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, to speak today, I really prayed on it, because obviously it's a very emotional day. But I could just hear Charlie in my heart. I could just hear him say, go reclaim that territory, babe. Go.
How lovely is that?
I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing. And I'm reminded, Allie, that there are those people out there that you're never going to please. It's never going to be enough for. They're never going to get it. And even though the Bible says we don't battle against, flesh and blood, but powers and principalities, some people do feel like flesh and blood, and that you're battling. But you have to let that go, because immediately when I was pulling this clip, I was like, I have to go through and read the comments, and people were just, she's wearing leather pants, she did it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like the judgment that comes after sometimes this grief that people go through. And the fact that she's very pure at heart, in the sense of, like, she speaks about a love that was for the ages, and so many people don't have that in their lives. And so they're quick to just talk about it. It's very disheartening sometimes. I was very upset after watching that.
It is the most frustrating when you are a woman, and instead of people talking to you about issues, instead of people talking to you about the problem at hand, they want to attack the way you look, the way you speak, your hair, like all these things. Like, just because you would not grieve the way she's grieving doesn't mean it's inappropriate. Do you know
absolutely.
Her everyday life? You do not have relational equity or relational capital to Erika Kirk to give an opinion.
Allie, and we're seeing this even in our party. I was thinking about this on the way here. God put this on my heart, and I'm going to say it at one of our meetings. But we asked for people to come out and get out of their comfort zone, get off their best intentions, and get involved, right?
Right.
We said, you have a role to play in your governance. We need you. We need to build a bench. Hey, America First. Hey, grassroots. We can't just, complain. We've got to get people involved. So we have people in the field, especially here locally in government, running for offices that are not politicians. It's like they heard the call and they're answering. And what's so many times, what are we hearing? Well, I don't like how she dresses. Maybe she shouldn't wear those boots. What about the makeup? Are you kidding me? You don't want us to look like politicians, but as soon as we bring our individuality here, you want to mold us. You know what happens when you try to mold people and then they get elected and then they go to serve? They're used to being molded.
Yeah, they don't.
How do we teach them to stand up against a swamp, which, by the way, is right here in Florida, too? It's right here in the GOP.
And it's both sides.
Absolutely. So I just, to all of you out there that maybe find yourself in some kind of I guess, an elected position or a place of high authority within the GOP, could you not? Can we work on policy and maybe can we open the government? Can we do that first?
How about instead of commenting on how high my high heels are, or how spiky they look, or how tight my dress is, or the size of my breasts when I stand straight, or the style of my hair, or the way that my buttons misaligned, or whatever it is, how about you actually make a phone call to your local representative and tell them not to pass this specific tax? How about you gather around your county community and you go visit a school board and tell them to take the smut books out of the school? How about you voice your opinion that way?
She's on it. Yeah. I had to tell someone the other day, you might need a tie, sir, before you talk about my earrings. I'm just going to say. Anyway, here's a great clip. Allie, this is Vice President J.D. Vance. I love it because you know what J.D. Vance never does?
And you wonder why. You wonder why the GOP, when you walk into these meetings, you don't see young people. It's like when you go to church, right? For all the believers out there, you're supposed to bring people into the church. Why is it when you walk into a Republican Party club, there's people that are in their 60s and 70s, and there's nobody my age, in their 20s or in their 30s or 18 to their 35s. Nobody's there.
And this is why Turning Point was so successful. They didn't need the party's approval to exist. And they went out and did the thing that maybe they wanted the party to do. And this is also part of what we're seeing with Scott Presler. Take a listen. Obviously, other people have stepped into Charlie's shoes in the terms of debating young people. Our vice president, J.D. Vance, was on the stage. I thought, first of all, this young person is very colorful and very fun, and I hope that he runs for office someday. But take a listen to the exchange here at Ole Miss with J.D. Vance.
But there is something you guys are doing that is kind of disturbing me a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. You guys have sent the military into Washington, D.C. and a few other cities that I can't think of off the top of my head, which, first off, they've had wonderful results. Like, no one can deny the results of that. It's wonderful. Some might even say the greatest. I'm a comedian.
I like this guy. Who is this guy?
Thank you, J.D. I like you, too.
Now he's gonna ask the question about all the shit that we did wrong, but that's okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
But yeah, I'm just wondering, well, it's not necessarily something you did wrong, but it's what could someone else do wrong? Let's say we get a complete tyrant in office, and let's say we're having, let's say Turning Point USA is having a huge protest against something really bad that we don't like, and let's say he's a president is saying that it's getting violent. How can we? I'm trying to think. My mind's kind of blank. What is the difference between what you're doing and how could we prevent someone from abusing that power?
Yeah. So look, I understand where the question is coming from, and I think it's a fair question. And it's going to sound like I'm being sarcastic, and it really is not meant in any offense. But when you talk about what could another administration do, to take a wild, hypothetical example totally off the top of my head, what if Joe Biden sent the Federal Bureau of Investigation to start arresting his political opponents? Okay? So here's something that I want conservatives, I want every conservative to remember. It's an important part of my entire political philosophy is we cannot be afraid to do something because the left might do it in the future. The left is already going to do it regardless of whether we do it. That is the takeaway of the last 40 years.
There you have it. And I thought that was amazing because I've heard that said before, like, well, it's no different than when they called, us moms at school board meetings, terrorists. No, it's already been done. So now we have to we have to keep our foot on the pedal as America first, right, Allie? We have to keep our foot on the pedal for everything that we want to continue to get done. And don't think what happens if they're going to do. They are going to. They've already come after MAGA. They've already come after America first. So now it's time to not only pass the executive orders that Trump's trying to push through, pass them into legislation, and keep going, keep doubling down. But I thought that guy was actually very, very, very funny. Very funny.
No, he was funny. I mean, and it's a good question.
And Allie, did you hear the chants of 2028 coming from the audience?
Yes.
I don't think JD knew what they were saying, but take a listen, see if you can point it, if you can hear it.
Please, I appreciate that, but we're not even halfway done. So here's I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds awesome. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do next is actually take...
Because, he had said 2048 for that guy, for the guy that was talking, maybe he'll run, but then they were like 2028.
Yeah, no, they were, it was really cool because in some videos, some people are saying that the crowd is chanting 48, like he'll be the 48th president.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I don't know if that's what they were actually saying.
I like that too.
I think that'd be really cool. I think that's
really
awesome.
cool.
But I do like how he's like, hold the phone. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Well, and what they're referring to is that Trump's actually made statements now about, JD Vance and Marco Rubio.
Right. And I think that would be a dynamic ticket, to be honest with you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Nobody would beat that.
Nope.
Nobody would beat that.
Do you hear that?
I'm actually, I know. So OG Tiger Man, I'm looking for, I'm actually looking for our YouTube link so I can put it in the chat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because he wants to share it out, and I don't have our link tree up in my bio yet. So I'm looking for it.
Thank you for those that are holding on. It's like you're the OGs. You're the ones that are like holding on in TikTok because you're like, they keep getting silenced, they keep getting muted, they keep getting banned. Allie, during the wee hours of the night, while many were watching the World Series, and we'll get to that in a minute because I think it was pretty funny, but the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was making a historic visit to South Korea to meet China's President Xi. Take a quick look at this video. Of next year. So this was pretty historic, and I don't think people realize that it's hard enough to take the president into certain areas of our own country where they might have protesters or whatever going on, but for a U.S. president to visit China's mainland, I mean, think about what has to happen in order for that to take place. So it could be amazing. He came out of the meeting and right away started to talk about some of the things that they had talked about in the meeting. I think it was about 90 minutes that they were in the meeting. Have you heard anything that's come from the meeting? Because I've been kind of searching for that.
No, I haven't. I did hear last night that one of the questions that was asked was like just blatant, just out in the open. As soon as they walked out, was she didn't even she just shouted the question, and it was, why did you restart nuclear testing in America? And President Trump didn't even acknowledge her. He was just like, okay, guys, time to go.
Well, and we're going to get to that story. You're absolutely right. That was, I mean, here you have the president of China there, and that's the question that you're going to ask. I did find there's a little list.
That's crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a little list of what apparently, hold on. Looking at, so there was an agreement in regards to a trade agreement. So not probably as huge of an agreement as we would like to see, but they did give a little as far as in trade, and the agreement to meet again in the future is important because let's not forget, we can blow up all the submarines in the Gulf of America we want for narco terrorists bringing synthetic fentanyl, the poison, to our mainland, but it originates from China.
From China.
So this is why this is important. I've had so many people reach out to me and say, well, America first, what's he doing over there? Do you not understand that this is a part of an America first policy? Get the synthetic CCP poison. This is an act of war in a lot of ways. You bring that crap over here to our mainland.
Also, foreign policy to an extent does benefit America. There's the reason why we have specific things that we're talking about with specific world leaders, especially when it comes to tariffs and especially when it comes to economy and it comes to building relationships. Yeah. And when you have China who is meddling in our infrastructure, our water, our food, our homeland, our farmland, when they're meddling in our education, when they're meddling in our defense, when they're meddling in our elections like they're doing in New York City.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the boss went to go see the president of China.
Yes. Absolutely.
It wasn't just to shake hands and kiss babies and make nice. President Trump does not do that in his negotiations. President Trump is very, very, very much about protecting America, American interests, and the American people.
Absolutely. Well, we do have a short clip here, Allie, that might help explain to us and to our viewers a little bit of the trade deal that was agreed upon. Take a listen.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Kevin Cork, live in Washington. President Trump speaking on board Air Force One following his high-stakes meeting with China's leader, Xi Jinping. He called the meeting with Xi that lasted about 2 hours, quote, amazing. The president says the U.S. will lower tariffs on China to 47%, down from 57%. He also said a lot of other decisions were made on soybean exports, fentanyl, and computer chips. An official traveling with the president also saying that China has agreed to keep exports of rare earth minerals flowing. Again, the president calling his talks with Xi Jinping great, and he said it was a very friendly meeting. Speaking on board Air Force One, the president also made a major announcement that he'll be going to China in April, and that President Xi will then come to the U.S. after that. President Trump, at this hour, on his way back to the U.S., his meeting with Xi lasted for about 2 hours. He said on a scale of 1 to 10, his meeting with Xi was a 12.
So there you heard it, guys. Rare earth minerals. This is important that we discuss this because this is why we barter and trade around the globe. This is why we've done it since our inception, is because other areas of the world have things we need. We have things that they need, and that's part of our cohesive getting along here on the globe. The other thing that's important to discuss is that not only was it rare earth minerals, but he had a distinct talk with him about what role Xi is playing, if any, in the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Because if you remember, there's been a kind of a solidarity with Russia and Xi in China. And those are two powers that, listen, he lives in the globe, too. He's got something to say about it. That's fine. But you can't hinder what we're trying to do when it comes to negotiating peace. And I think that there was some undertones there with that. But they had talked about it. And I look forward to see what comes in 2026 from that.
Me too. I mean, she was hosted by Gavin Newsom in California a couple of years ago, where he was actually able to clean up the streets of LA with all the homeless people that they have there. Nobody knows what that resulted in, but I mean, God only knows, and the two of them. But the fact that President Trump was over there and plans to go back and plans to host him here on America says a lot about their negotiations. So I look forward to hearing more about that. I know Marco Rubio being in the room is definitely not a mistake. That man has made so many leaps and bounds when it comes to negotiating with world leaders across the world. So it's amazing to see how true to the mandate this representative government that we have put in place in 2024 is actually benefiting America. We're not going to see it right away, and I think we have been seeing it little by little, but it's causing a little bit of pain points because we're not used to seeing representative government.
We're used to seeing an Autopen, which we'll get to later.
Right. So I'm just keep your hats on, keep holding on to the rails. I know we're flying at a bullet speed, but
absolutely. Well, Trump did take to social media to talk about the very thing that you mentioned earlier, just a little bit in the show, which is moments before he stepped out to shake the hand of China leader Xi. News broke that we are going to restart our nuclear testing here in this country. Take a look at the post that was made by Donald Trump. He said the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished mostly during his first term. Because of the tremendous destructive power, President Trump does not really care for nuclear power that much, but he said he has no choice. Russia is second behind the U.S. and China is a distant third. So he's instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis, basically an equal flex. Listen, you bow your chest, we bow ours, I guess. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So
I love that. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Guys,
I'm going to use that in my campaign.
I know. I'm using that in my emails from now on. You sound kind of sarcastic when you do it. So it's like, it's so weird because like I'll type it and then I'm like, maybe not.
Or as per my last email when you know they didn't read it. And that's why they're like emailing you and it's like a little slap.
As per our previous email, it's interesting how words can be read in a very different way, which is why I like to be alone with folks because you can tell inflection in the words. But the reason why I think this is important is because America, if we want America to be the world leader again, if we want to really boast ourselves as being, the leader of the free world, how are we the leaders of the free world? And our kids that are graduating high school and going into college or graduating college don't know how to integrate AI into cybersecurity. How is it that we don't know Like our kids aren't being taught math at a high enough level that they can calculate whether or not a rocket can spin off of the Earth fast enough in order to land on the moon or land on an asteroid in order to keep the asteroid from coming into the Earth and blow it up. Like,
Was there a movie like that? Yeah, exactly.
yes, but it's actually true. So there are things that our education system is not doing to further our agenda of making America just beneficial for all things. If we want to be innovative, we need to make sure our education system is up to par with everywhere else, like China. Right? China, they're investing in their education at larger rates than we are, because we have a teachers union that want to give more money to the administration than to the children. We have more corporate industries that want to give more money to administration than they want to actually put into building innovation and things like that in the nation. And so when we're talking about nuclear things, we need to make sure that we're testing those things. So that in case something does happen, we're not reactive, we are proactive.
We are proactive.
Doing that. I know that was a long way.
Listen, I don't think we realize how depleted our Department of Defense then, or now War now, Department of War, how depleted we were throughout Obama, and definitely tried again through Biden. It was scary how much we did not have. And yet you've got, Hillary Clinton making deals with foreign governments on, the products they need in order to stay nuclear. It's not very often, guys, that we get an inside look of what possibly had occurred throughout the Biden and Obama administrations. But every once in a while, a good Democrat grows a conscience and decides to tell all. And I'm not talking about a whistleblower necessarily, somebody that was there in the room during a lot of these things, sort of their version of a John Bolton. And thank God for those that I guess want to tell the truth or want to, and thank God for an MSNBC that didn't know any better and put him on and gave him a microphone. I want you guys to listen to some of the stories about how Nancy Pelosi responded to Joe Biden and whether or not he was coherent enough to run. And then when she made public statements, listen to how Barack Obama responded to her. Take a listen.
Did you hear about the secret meeting? Pelosi snuck into the White House just to see the Autopen.
She goes to have a secret meeting with Joe Biden in the White House. As the meeting concludes, and Pelosi's not telling him directly to get out, but reiterating the message that she said to Jonathan, these two devout Catholics take out their rosaries and they say a prayer together. Pelosi leaves. It is the last time that they had any meaningful exchange of words.
This is a new scoop about the coup. Nancy was literally praying that Biden would bow out.
Wow.
But not everybody was on board, including the hubby, Paulie P.
Pelosi talks to her husband, Paul Pelosi, and Paul answers the phone by saying, Kamala? No. You did what? Kamala?
Paulie P. knew Kamala was a bad investment. Barack, too. He called Nancy and was dropping F-bombs when Nance endorsed Harris behind his back.
You report that Barack Obama called her basically asking, what the F did you just do?
Obama says is basically, what Nancy, what was that all about? And clearly irritated. No, she was pissed off. She was angry. He was angry. The clear message was, why did you do that?
Inside Biden world, everyone knew the truth. There's only one.
Everybody knew that he was incompetent and incoherent. And then what they did in the leadership of the Democrat Party, all of my Democrats out there, what they did is they subverted the democracy system that you all claim Trump wants to destroy. They did not give you a chance to really vote on who was going to be at the top of the ticket in the Democrat Party. They just substituted old white man for Kamala, and they took your choice away. And apparently there was a pecking order that she didn't follow.
I know, it's wild. It's like they talk about disenfranchising voters and they talk about no kings. They talk about this, but what did they do? They removed someone without proper votes, and then they installed someone without proper votes. They completely installed a queen to head up the Democrat Party. And now they're all falling in line in behind a radical Islamist in New York City.
Because they're void of any leadership. And this is the thing. I love this with the walkaway movement. I love that midline independents and largely midline Democrats have all run like scorched earth, ran from the Democrat Party into like the MAGA America First Republican Party. That is amazing. But what's happened is that there's left a void in the Democrat Party. And I've said here on this show many, many times, America wins when we have two strong parties of common sense thought where we can debate all of the things, because that's how we end up with really the best policy. We've got a void right now. It's like you can't even call in a pinch hitter because there's no bench over there. The bench, it's like crickets over there on the Democrat Party.
It's kind of like that here, though, with the right. It really is. It's like that with the right. There's no bench, and when you're
gonna die off, and then it's like, don't you want these young people involved?
And
the ones that you don't like their heels and earrings.
It is so frustrating to see, Michelle, when you have, especially military, that understand that you are supposed to cover down to the left and to the right of you to make sure that if you're taken out or you step out, that whoever is to the left and to the right of you can cover down for you, because you are as weak as your weakest link. And if you have a hole in your chain of command, someone can infiltrate that and corrupt the entire thing. So when you have military that are actually in office that don't cover left and right, and they don't build a bench, and they don't mentor, and they don't build up the next generation, you are left with people that will just come in and do whatever the hell they want to. And that is going to be the destruction of the Republican Party, the America First agenda. We can't have that.
We can't, and we won't allow it, to be honest. I want to fast forward, if we could. Krista, I want to take us to our last asset for this segment, because Allie, there's a lot going on in D.C., obviously.
I thought you were going to say because you talk too much, Allie.
Me? Like, I got room to talk. Why do you think we've requested a 2-hour show? Because we're two women and we just don't know. Sometimes we got to talk about it, gentlemen. We got to air it out and talk about it. We got to talk about it. Never mind, I won't. That's a different show. I self-censored. Did you see what I did there? My mom would be proud. Okay, so activists, y'all, are planning to take over D.C. next week. Now, wait a minute. This sounds an awful lot like what they claim happened on January 6th. Let's take a listen to them at their own mouth.
November 5th in Washington, D.C., the largest sustained protest in Washington, D.C.'s history. This needs to be what happens right now, organizing millions of people to get to Washington, D.C., stand and surround the White House, surround the Capitol building, surround the illegitimate fascist Supreme Court, and not stop until the Trump regime is driven from power. We start on the 5th, we go to the 6th, we go to the 7th, we go to the 8th. We keep pushing every day, building and growing our numbers until masses of people are standing around the White House, around the Capitol building, around this fascist and Supreme Court, until we drive the Trump fascist regime from power. Like I said.
Okay, so did you hear him? We're going to surround the Capitol. We're going to surround the White House. We're going to surround it until Trump ceases to be in power. I thought this was the party that was so scared of us subverting the democratic system. Didn't we not vote? Do they not believe in elections? Do they not believe that the elections are secure? Are they election deniers? Do they not believe that the democratic system worked on November 5th of 2024? How can you make a president cease to be president? That's awfully violent. Where's the National Guard? Where's the FBI? What? Sorry.
Ooh,
not sorry. I'm a little upset.
Don't say sorry, ma'am. You said it. I got nothing to say. Because that's exactly what they claimed that we did in January 6th, and that's not what we did. That's not what we did. We didn't do that.
Well, and we now know 200 and some, plainclothed FBI agents were in the. We're not going to go there. So this is the call. It's been all over social media. Trans-Tifa is making another costume change. I don't know what they're going to show up dressed up as. I mean, it's right after Halloween. Maybe they'll bring their Halloween costumes. I don't know. But they're going to surround the Capitol, guys. They're going to surround the White House. They're going to surround until Trump ceases to be in office. That is a threat.
Yep. But this is what the Democrats want. This is a color revolution. I don't know if y'all are paying attention, but that is exactly what this is. They are trying to participate in a regime change.
Right. Hey, Allie, I have a question for you and the American people, especially the women out there.
And our TikTok audience.
And our TikTok audience. That's right, all of you.
Audience.
But if you're a female, especially, I want your ears to perk up. Not that, men, no, you're gonna get this too. How many of you believe in second chances? Like somebody does you wrong, does you dirty. How many of you guys believe in second chances? Okay. Well, we're going to have to talk about this in greater detail because we have to discuss how many chances we give those on the left, those that are not doing their job even on the right. How many chances do we give them to show us who they are before we really get something in our belly that says, I'm kind of done with this? We're going to cover that and so much more when Open Mic continues after this short message.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None. Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answered all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Welcome back to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. We are the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down. What's the medicine? It is current events and propaganda. If you're not already doing so, follow Allie at Real Allie Leger, also on TikTok at Allie Marie, and I'm at Michelle Posey. Allie's got this great idea of going live on TikTok to get a behind-the-scenes view of what takes place. So if you guys are on TikTok, make sure you follow her on that so you can join our live. Allie, talking a little bit about second chances, did you know that they have voted now 14 times?
14 times.
To keep the government shut down. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not a huge fan of like government being, I don't think they're enormously effective as it is, but it's now starting to permeate down to what we would call like lower middle class families, working families, single household families, our veterans. And again, Congress is still making a paycheck. Their direct deposits are going through. So take a listen, though, to what this Schumer shutdown has done as far as exposing really the misuse, I think, of our EBT and SNAP programs from many, not all, but many. Take a listen.
There are 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps. 42% of Somali immigrants. 34% of every immigrant from Iraq. 23% of Haitians. 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats, we can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers.
There you have it. You know, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light, and God takes everything that was meant to destroy us, even as a nation, and props it up to use it for something good. So I've heard that there is now, Josh Hawley he's got a bill that he wants to bring forward that would allow for just the funding of EBT SNAP. I'm hoping he's got his ears to the grindstone here, and he's going to put wording in there that says for only legal U.S. citizens.
Who knew that needed to even be something that like my mind is blown. I tried to have this conversation earlier in our space here on X. I mean, not X, on TikTok, and I got reamed for it. They're like, that's a lie. That can't be true. We literally just showed you half of them are gone now because I just don't entertain trolls. When you stop feeding them, they go back under the bridge where they belong. So it's really interesting that when you're given the information that 49% of Afghanistans who are illegally here in America are utilizing your tax dollars to feed themselves. But meanwhile, veterans can't feed themselves. We don't get free housing when we leave the military, when we're deemed veterans. We don't get vouchers for housing. But if you're an illegal, you can. Why does this need to be a stipulation that only citizens can receive taxpayer-funded programs? That should already be implied.
This is part of that communist manifesto. How do you topple the West? Since we're too strong, you can't infiltrate us, and we'll kick your butt in any war.
On our soil is stupid, and they know it.
Exactly. So what do? You have to topple our system by bringing it down from within inside, the infrastructure from within inside. So if you make it too heavy on one side and not the other, that's how you topple it. Guess what?
Yeah.
The illegal, the UN-driven mass migration of illegals that have come to this country, and yes, they did sponsor it, and us as the biggest financial contributor to the UN, so go figure that out. You actually paid for them to get here. They are trying to topple these programs. Now, I want to speak directly to every baby boomer out there, because in my opinion, it's by far one of the best generations we've had. How many of you guys...
on the left.
Baby boomers, listen, the baby boomers on the left, unless they're crazy,
right?
They understand the Democrat Party that was under Kennedy. Okay, they're not the new Democrat Party. So I'm speaking to all boomers out there. How many of you guys worked 30 plus years doing a job because you were told that you're going to have a retirement, you've got Social Security, you did what you were supposed to do, you paid into a system. Then your kids and your grandkids underneath you come up and they fall on hard times. They need to get back on their feet. They need the government that you paid into, the system that you paid into, and nothing's there for them. How do you feel knowing that you've supported the mass migration of illegals into this country, some very, very hardened criminals, and MS-13 and others, but now the very system that you want your loved ones and your next of kin to be able to take part in is not there because they've drained the system. We're catching the Communist Party with their pants down, metaphorically, and it's nothing good to look at, I'm just going to say. So, Allie, this is crazy.
No, the only thing that I would disagree with is that there are some boomers that are on the crazy left side, because we've been face to face with them. I was called a white supremacist to my face by one of them. When we went to interview them, we were talking about Byron Donalds. So it really just depends. But that is a great statement for you to say to them, because look, do you really want someone who has not, I said this on TikTok earlier, someone that has not earned it, but you've earned it and you can't receive it, but someone that hasn't, you're giving it away? I can't, so as a veteran who signed my name and my life on a dotted line for the government, I have buried friends for this government. I have lost family from this government because we've served, and we can't have access to these things. It's not given to us, and we've actually paid for it.
To be honest, Allie, I mean, I hate that this is hurting people, and there's been calls by many. Listen, this is where churches, faith communities, faith leaders, this is your chance. This is your chance to do for the least of these, because potentially soon, there will be people right on the heels of Thanksgiving and Christmas that will need some help. Faith community, time to get off of our best intentions. Not that all of you haven't been, many of you do the work. I know you do. But let's rally behind and let's show what the faith community does and does well. But Allie, if we wouldn't have seen this through this part of the shutdown, we wouldn't have known. And I believe all things work together for the good of God who wants us to see this. because we've been asking to reveal this stuff. And many of us, when we asked for them to reveal it, we thought it ended when they showed the incapacitation of Joe Biden, that he wasn't coherent. It didn't end there. It actually started there.
Yeah, but it started there. I mean, it started with COVID. It started with the school board. That's where it started. The shutdown, 2020, we ended up entering into the information age, the awakening age, the age where we are going to learn what is really going on behind the curtain. And that's what you're seeing. Allie. That's what you're seeing. 2020 vision. That's what 2020 was about. Yes, it's painful to learn the truth. And a lot of times when you're up against it because you've been lied to for so long, you're like, wait, that can't be true. That can't be true. And then after you realize that you've been lied to, it's like being in a narcissistic relationship. After you've learned that you've been lied to, you then don't trust your own instincts. You don't trust what you're seeing. You don't trust what you're hearing. You don't trust what you're feeling. And the more you are up against the truth, the easier it is for you to go, okay, wait a minute. Let me compare this to this. Does this work?
Absolutely.
Does this align? Is this true?
It's like a really bad abusive relationship, but there's a necessity to coming to that realization and coming to that light. And actually, Democrats are equally just as upset. I want you to take a listen to the soundbite.
The biggest union representing federal employees is demanding an end to the shutdown.
Congressman, the largest federal workers union obviously putting pressure on the Democrats. They want to go back to work. They want to open the government up again. Do you think Schumer is close to cracking?
I think so. I mean, look, at the end of the day, federal workers, I think one of the big unions now said this enough is enough. You have 42 million people who are on food stamps, SNAP benefits, whatever you want to call it. That money's running out. And Chuck Schumer's still trying to demonstrate that he's got a backbone. I mean, that's what this is all about. We've been consistent for a month on this entire matter. And people need to remember, Chuck Schumer, back in March, voted for the same continuing resolution that he's now saying no to. So this is all politics, and it's the politics of the worst kind, Stu. You can't put health care for illegal aliens over hardworking men and women in this country, military personnel who are not getting paid, air traffic controllers who are not getting paid. It's time for Chuck Schumer and the radical left to see reality and just go vote to reopen the government so we can get back to the business of the American people.
Absolutely. Of course, that is Byron Donalds, representative from right here in the state of Florida and governor candidate for governor right here in the state of Florida. We're so excited to see him do that. But Allie, this is very true. Again, Josh Hawley apparently has something that he wants to bring forward to vote that would fund EBT and SNAP. But I'm hoping somewhere in there is wording that says only for U.S. citizens. I think this is the only chance we have at getting that right.
I think it might be in there. Only for U.S. citizens. I don't know how they're going to vet that in enough time in order for them to access the SNAP benefits. I do think that ICE should be deployed at they should go through all the documentation to figure out who is actually on SNAP. And ICE should be deployed to those residents to collect those people and deport them.
Allie,
also, the Senate Democrats have also failed on every other single bill that has come out to fund our air traffic controllers and our military. I don't think they're going to budge on this one. I think they will eventually pass the CR, but when it comes to individual bills, they don't care. They don't want to.
Well, and part of what we're going to see here, guys, and I've been bringing this up locally and haven't gotten a lot of response, but what has the drain of this illegal migration into this country across an open southern border under Biden and Harris, how has this affected our school systems? How much of our school resources are going now to children who are here to no fault of their own because they've been brought here, but are here illegally and now are needing extra services because, English isn't their primary language? And what does that do? How does that take resources away from, again, your taxpayers out there? Is that part of what you paid for? I mean, I just think this opens up to a bigger conversation. But the scary thing is, Allie, you and I have been saying this for a long time. This is a Democrat stronghold that they are trying to squeeze on the middle-class Americans right now. Many of you MAGA, many of you America First, they could care less about you. They want to see an uprising. They want to see division. They want to see much of what would be civil unrest because they have to try to paint this on Donald Trump. Take a look to an independent journalist, much like you guys out there, Chicago One Ray. We've showed his stuff before. Take a listen to what his theology is on this.
If the Democrats get their way, then they will hold the government hostage and then force Trump into a situation where he has to take executive orders in order to either open up the government or fund the country in some way, shape, or form. We are in a constitutional crisis. But make no mistake, the Democrats are fully prepared to let the country sink rather than to give up any little remnants of power that they have. This big tantrum that they're throwing is just an example of how they act when they don't get their way. They're not budging. Trust and believe they have no intention on budging. But maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want to throw us into a constitutional crisis. Maybe they want to force Trump's hand to make him look like a dictator, to make him look like their no kings accusations were actually true, to make him look like a dictator. I mean, think about it. At this point, they don't have many.
I mean,
I said it, didn't I?
You said
Didn't
it,
I say it
a long time ago.
Didn't I say it? I said it. I said it. I said that that's what they're doing. They know that that's what they're doing. And people that have been paying attention for quite a while know that that's what they're doing. Military know that that's what they're doing. And this is death by 1,000 cuts. And I said this like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Death by 1,000 cuts. That's what we're experiencing. Because they know that if they come in, and the Chinese are very good at this. They are very good at this. They know how to do this.
There's foreign money that's been planning all like this surround the Capitol Day on November 5th that the Democrats and extreme left are planning. I'll bet you what that is while you're suffering not getting EBT money, there's foreign money coming over to help support that. I want to pivot just a quick second. Shout out to Brandon Strzok, who is still working hard in New York ahead of this New York mayoral. This election is nationwide, as you said, by the way. Virginia and New Jersey, your governor elections. Early in-person voting is underway now. Get out and vote. Go, go, go. But Allie, we just learned about all the mafia ties to throwing NBA games. Take a look at this headline from the New York Post. Tell me you're not shocked.
I'm not.
Experts fear that betting markets could influence the New York City election as data shows pro-Mandami bets from China and Middle East have skewed the odds. So we've been saying here that, we're shocked at how many, the percentages, the polling is showing, so many people are voting. Not so. Not so. Don't let it stop you from getting out there and voting for anybody but Mandami.
Yeah, guys, imagine that. The Middle East and China, two places that can't stand America, that want to completely see America wiped off the face of the earth, that want to take over America and make it a dictatorship. They want to rule over America because they can't stand that they have free people that think on their own, that don't put God as their government,
that don't cover women's faces,
that have radical Islamists who is funded by foreigners, by China and the Middle East, are betting that he's going to win. Don't let him win. Go out and vote in mass.
Out and vote in mass. That's right. Double down on your backyard because it matters. Queens, the Bronx, it all matters. It all matters. We're going to skip ahead a little bit, Krista, if we could, just for the sake of time, because Allie, you sent me this. And when you sent me this, what you really should have done was set a warning to put down the coffee, put down any liquids that you might be drinking, any food that you might be eating, because it will come back out. This is just too funny. Are you telling me that, what's her name that does the Kamala Harris impersonation and Sean Farage? They've teamed up? The Kamala impersonator and the Trump impersonator have teamed up, you all. Are you ready? Turn your volume up. Take a listen.
We're doing a great job.
All right,
Now,
can you tell me when it's going to crash so I could, pull out my money with you?
We're not going to do it. You have to ask Nancy Pelosi. You have to ask Crazy Nancy.
You are a greedy.
You have to ask Crazy Nancy.
She's not going to give me. She won't even give me the liquor cabinet key. She's not going to give me that. She doesn't like me.
I have to say something. You have to do better than that.
We need to pick up the pace, y'all. He's catching up. Pick up the pace.
Where are my people?
Look, I heard you had illegals building your little East Wing ballroom. I want to see
we do very well. We do very well with the bad hombres.
Pedro and Luis and Jose. I helped all those men across the border, and I heard they're at the East Wing right now without a lunch break. Without a lunch break, Donald. Is it true? You got the pendejos working.
The bad hombres. We have the greatest hombres. You have bad hombres.
You're not supposed to have any hombres. The deal was you're going to have Americans, only citizens. What happened to that? But they won't do it. Of course you don't understand it because you're stupid.
I'm a very smart person. No, I have a beautiful body. Think about it. I knew who...
I don't want to think about it. There's nothing beautiful about you naked, Don. I don't want to see...
You know who Zeus is,
Don't send me
right?
shit like that.
You know who Zeus is? He's the Greek god. And he said to me, sir, atop Mount Olympus, he said to me, sir, what is your secret, sir? And I
No,
said,
he did
a lot
not.
of Big Macs and a lot of
Greek
Diet
god.
Cokes.
The Greek god, really, Don. What did he do, call you?
The Greek god Zeus, he said, but your majesty. He said, your majesty. How on earth are you so sculpted? He said, you're sculpted. I said, I'm not. He said, you are. And I told him my secret. I said, your favorite king, the strongest and greatest. We play a lot of golf. We eat a lot of Big Macs. We have a beautiful face.
Come back here.
And you're a puta.
So
You know,
funny story. She says that he is the only Trump impersonator that she breaks character in. When they do these lives, she cannot stay in character because he's so funny. And Silver Fox, listen, I know
Yes, I was gonna
these are
say
very
that.
serious times, but
Yes.
if we do not take time to find joy in our lives, and we do not take time to laugh at some things, and we do not take time to just enjoy what God has given us on this planet, we will fall victim into despair, and we cannot do that. We can't.
Well, when I read, and this is why we love, guys, when you'll comment, whether you're on Rumble, YouTube, any platform, but especially our live audience on TikTok, I read that and my heart went out to him. I assume Silver Fox, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, but because that's exactly where we were. Do you remember the day, the election night, right? We were in West Palm Beach. We were at Trump headquarters.
Oh my gosh, we cried.
I broke a heel. My boots, remember? My high heel boots, I broke them from jumping up and down.
We found out the results on X before the news were reporting it.
Absolutely, because they were slow rolling it. Well, listen, we looked at each other after it was like tears and broken boot and all that stuff. And then we're like, oh my God, Allie, we don't get to rest. Like you can get one day to like go take a nap. But now that the work really starts. And so when you're working at that type of a pace and you see all this stuff coming out that's like, I can't believe my government did this. I can't believe it did this. I can't believe it did this. You're seeing all this stuff come to light. It's very heavy and burdensome. And that's why I have to remember that the joy of the Lord is our strength. You want to have strength to get to 2026. You want to have strength to get to 2028. We have to start injecting a bit of joy in there every once in a while. Otherwise, and listen, because our message through America First, our message through MAGA, beyond Trump, it's contagious only if we have the joy of the Lord with us. It's just like Christianity. Nobody wants to be browbeaten with rules, that were chiseled on a tablet through Moses. You have to, deliver it with joy. And so, Silver Fox, my heart goes out to you because I felt the same way you did. How am I going to laugh when people are not getting their food benefits that dearly need it? It's hard.
I mean,
it's
and we
difficult.
do this. We go through this periodically, right, throughout our journey as being involved in politics because we eat, breathe, and sleep it all day, literally. And it's we go through moments where we're like, gosh, I don't even want to do this anymore. And then we get on like an X feed or we get on TikTok Live and we see our friends like Sean Farash and Patti, and we're just, you have to laugh because you're like, okay, y'all get it. And then we'll all join in our group chat and we're like, I can't believe this is happening. And like we bitch and complain and then we laugh about it and then we continue to go and do our work again. It's like
go line dancing. We go line dancing. Go do something fun, right? Just to get out. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Allie, thank you for bringing in our live TikTok audience. Again, make sure you're following us. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends. At Real Allie Ajay, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms. We want to see you guys here tomorrow. Of course, Allie will be in studio tomorrow.
Guys, and also we do post show on TikTok. So if you are on TikTok, hop in the live real quick. We're going to do a little post show. We'll talk to y'all and get to know you guys a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms and on all platforms that you follow.
Keep that mic open.
What do you do when the gas is high? Inflation's up in the sky. Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on.